Hi, this is Christopher Brown. Welcome back to Easy Breezy Math, where the math makes sense. It's not just a bunch of numbers. What I'm going to talk about today, as you can see here, I have another sheet. I'll try to make them quick, but I want to give you guys an idea of what I create in my classroom to give to the students so that we can study multiple concepts at one time. So on this sheet, what you'll see first, I'll have some graphing. A lot of my sheets will start off with graphing. You'll notice I started off with just some points to graph. And then what I have on this sheet, it'd be a more earlier graph where I'd have the parent graph, and then I would talk about maybe one movement. So you'll see that first line is going to go right through the middle. It's just a parent graph with the y equals x. Then did the same thing with the y equals an x squared. That's the parent graph for our U shape. Yes, I call parabolas U shape for now, keeping it simple so they know exactly what I'm talking about for my U shape. And it's just going to go up or down, one simple movement so they can begin to graph it and understand those concepts. Again, we're going to practice this all the time. So I'll just continue to build and throw more concepts in there. All right. Next, as we go on to number 2 in my graph on my sheet, you'll see that I have some party versus war. Okay. Party versus war, we practice this all the time. This is my combining integers, positive and negative numbers. We want to be able to combine those. This is a mistake, a crucial mistake they tend to make all along in their math. They want to get this clear in their heads. Again, I almost have a script for this. I will say, what do you see here? Is it a party or war? I don't tell them the answer. They have to tell me the answer. I want the whole class to answer. So is it a party? Is it a war? Who wins the war? If it's a war, positives or negatives. It's a party. What happens in a party? Everybody comes together. Okay. What type of party is it? A positive or negative party? We're always going through these things over and over again so that they have those concepts. If we do that, they'll clarify those concepts of when we should add those integers. All right, next you'll see a crowd favorite is our circles. That's right. For some reason, they gravitate towards those circles. Again, this will be more like an IM sheet. IM math nowadays, IM1, IM2, and IM3. And if you're in an algebra class, you can teach them some geometry. There's no reason why you can't show them some circles. Again, so I'll have my circles on this graph, halfway through the circle, all the way through the circle. You might see a radius with 0.7 or 0.52, and they'll have to manipulate that decimal as well and learn to square it when we get down to the area. And it's all practicing all these same skills over and over again. Remember too, in your sheet, you can always include today's lesson because as we know, we have to follow along as to what we're doing as a department, as our math department. We like to stay on synchronous or on the same topics, and that's fine. We'll just include those topics in our sheet. The next thing that I have on this particular sheet, you're going to see is just simplifying expressions. I have some expressions where I want to simplify. Remember, when you simplify expressions, you don't have to take time to go to PEMDAS. We're not worried about that. What we're worried about is recognizing what we see in the numbers and visualizing, okay, I see that's a 3 times 7. So that's 3 sevens together. I need to keep that together. And I want to do those things first before I subtract it or anything like that. So those are the first 4 concepts that I have on this sheet. You want to have at least 5 different topics that you're practicing daily. If you were to play football, if you were to play basketball, you're not just going to do one skill at a time. You're going to practice many concepts or many skills daily. We do the same type of thing in math. You'll be more successful this way. Been doing this for 28 years. Please trust me. All right. Now we're on the back of the sheet. On the back of the sheet, we get to number 5. And on number 5 here, what I have are just really simple, some squares. Do you know that many students will go through their whole high school math career and they'll never really understand that when we square a number, we're making it into the shape of a square? So these are the type of things we want to do. We want to mix the algebra and geometry together. Those 2 concepts blend together. So I have a lot of that on that next sheet. You're going to see that sevens. That first one is 7 squared. It's squared. And then we have the next one. We're taking the square root of 144. And we want to begin to get this concept in right away. Perfect squares, that concept of squaring numbers and taking the square roots of numbers is going to be paramount for when they get to higher math. All right. The next one, I have a nice little thing that gets them set up to really understand rates and rate of change. So we got Josue here on this one. It says Josue could paint 5 rooms in 3 hours. So then we just say, okay, how many could he do in 6? How many could he do in 9? And we get that concept of a rate going. Then we go ahead and we switch it up a little bit. We say, if he does 10 rooms, how long will that take him? And if he does 15 rooms, how long will that take him? Again, this is for algebra class, right in the beginning. Next, number 8, you'll see right there, I have some adding and subtracting fractions. Have them do fractions all the time. stumble on fractions, or my algebra 2 class, and they say, Mr. Brown, I can do anything as long as you just don't put any fractions in it. I can solve the equations, just don't give me any fractions in it. And I'm like, that's ridiculous. We have to practice more fractions. You can practice them all year long. You want them to be comfortable, not afraid to do the problems that have fractions in them. All right. And then the last one we have our percentages. I like to do them this way. I like to say, okay, if I have 300, what's 10% of 300? Most students are going to know the 10% and they're going to get that that's 30. All right, great. So then if I want 5%, if 10% of 300 is 30, I know that 5% is going to be what? 15. What would 20% then be? Okay, that would be 60. And so you're just practicing the percentages this way. You can go on and include what will 25 for less than a certain number be, put an actual scenario in there, but you have the power to create and guide your class the way you want when you create your own sheets. Again, I'm going to do a lot of these videos on making your own sheets because that's where the real power comes in math. The ability to shape your classroom. If they're not doing well on a concept, you can see, you'll practice that one more. You can keep it on the sheet longer till everyone's getting it. Then you can take it away for a while and then put it back and see if they can retain that information. All right. There's my next video. Thank you for tuning in to Easy Breezy Math. Good luck, and we'll see you on the next video. Make sure you like and subscribe so we can keep these videos going. All right. Thanks. Bye.